Very fresh good morning and Jai Hind to all. In last video, what happened when Hana saw a live operation? In her whole lifetime, she saw first time an operation. After seeing that operation, after seeing the wound of the American soldier, she was not feeling well. She felt giddiness. She left the room and started vomiting outside. Dr. Sadaf became very angry and he thought that the American soldier was responsible for Hana's discomfort, and his anger will be seen. When you read the text, you will notice how he became angry, and his anger was seen in his actions. What he said, this man, he thought there is no reason under heaven why he should live. That is the provoking thought in his mind when he saw. Sadaf thought that there was no reason for him to make effort to save the man because there was no reason for him to live, and that thought led him or make him merciless. Unconsciously, this thought made him ruthless and he proceeded swiftly. In his dream, the man mooned, but Sadaf paid no heed, except to mutter at him. Croon, he muttered, croon if you like, I am not doing this for my own pleasure. In fact, I don't know why I am doing it. Here you can notice inner conflict of Dr. Sadaf. Whatever he is doing, he is not knowing why he is doing. What is the deriving force? What is the force that force him to do the operation? There is a conflict between Dr. Sadaf's profession and Dr. Sadaf's patriotism. The door opened and there was Hana again. Where is the anesthetic? You will read in this passage that after vomiting, Hana returned back, and Dr. Sadaf was very happy to see Hana back, and he directed her how to give the anesthetic to the man. And she followed Dr. Sadaf's instructions. She crouched close to the sleeping face of the young man. It was a piteously thin face, she thought, and the lips were twisted. You can read this passage. I will provide you the explanation of this passage line by line. You can match with. So Hana sat in a squat and went close to the face of the sleeping American man. She felt sad and sympathetic towards him as she saw his thin face and twisted lips. She knew that he was suffering. She wondered whether the stories that had heard about the torture meted out to the prisoners were true. The stories were like rumors which spread when people told them to others. On the other hand, in the printed media like the newspapers, it was mentioned that the Japanese army was welcome wherever it went, and people praised it for their freedom. Hana recalled an officer of the Japanese army, General Takima, who was cruel to his wife and would beat her. No one talked about if anyone or anymore, as he had won the wars in Manchuria. Hana thought that if a man could be cruel towards his wife, then he could also be cruel to the prisoner in his captivity. So hoped Anaxus that this young man had not been tortured. It was at this moment that she observed deep red scars on his neck just under the ear. Those scars, she murmured, lifting her eyes to Sadaf, but he did not answer at this moment. She noticed some scars. She mentioned it, but Dr. Sadaf was busy with his operation. She did not mention. Hana mentioned the scars to Sadaf and asked about them. Sadaf did not answer. At that moment, the tip of his instrument hit something hard. The bullet, it was very close to the kidney. Sadaf was not thinking of anything else. He was happy to have finally found the bullet. He moved his fingers inside the wound. Sadaf was familiar with the tiniest part of the human body. His professor of anatomy in America had told them that if a surgeon ignored the knowledge of any part of the body, it was the first misdeed that he had committed to operate upon a body without detailed knowledge of it, as much as the person who makes it has would amount to committing a murder of that body. Sadao's profession would repeat these words in his class often. It is not quite at the kidney, my friend, Sadao murmured. It was his habit to murmur to the patient when he forgets himself in an operation. My friend, he always called. So Dr. Sadao is deeply involved in his operation. He forget that he was operating an enemy, not a friend. And in his forgetfulness, he called that person my friend, because he is used to do so. Then quickly, with the cleanest and most precise of incisions, the bullet was out. The man quivered, but he was still unconscious. Nevertheless, he muttered a few English words. Guts, he muttered, choking. They got my guts, Sadao. Hannah cried sharply. Hush, Sadao said. The man sank again into silence so profound that Sadao took up his wrist, hating the touch of it. Yes, there was still a pulse, so feeble but enough. If he wanted the man to live, he to give hope. The injured man choked and said, "Guts, they got my guts." He meant that he was brave and courageous, and the Japanese army would have a tough time while punishing him. Upon hearing him, Hana cried out to Sadao. Sadao asked her to keep quiet. The man became so quiet. But certainly I do not want this man to live, he thought. After operation, Dr. Sadao was confirmed that the man would live. But what he said that I don't want the man to live. No more aesthetic, he said. He turned as swiftly as though he had never pushed. Pause, and from his medicine he chose a small vial. Now he is giving an injection. Sadao stooped Hana from administering anesthetic. He turned quickly and chose a small bottle from the medicine. He filled a syringe with the medicine. Now he is giving the injection. This man will live in spite of all, he said. Hana and sighed. The young man woke so weak, his blue eyes so terrified when he perceived where he was, that Hana felt compelled to apologize. She herself served him, for none of the servants would enter the room. Sadao took a deep breath as he told Hana that the injured man would live. He woke up, his blue-colored eyes were full of fright as he realized where he was. Hana felt sorry for him. She served him food as the servant refused to enter the room where he was kept. When she came in the first time, she saw him summon his small strength to be prepared for something fearful thing. When Hana met the injured man for the first time, she saw that the man was gathering all his strength. He was in full of fear. Don't be afraid, she begged him softly. How come you speak English? He gasped. How? I was a long time in America, she replied. Hana said softly to the injured man that he should not afraid. He was astonished that she could speak English. Hana replied that she had lived in America for a long time. The man wanted to speak further but was not able to speak. Hana fed him gently with a spoon made of porcelain. The man did not want to eat, but he has to eat. Now you will soon be strong, she said, not liking and yet moved to comfort him. He did not answer. When Sadao came in the third day after the operation, he found the young man sitting up, his face bloodless with the Lie down, Sadao cried. Do you want to die? He forced the man down gently. Now I will explain what he meant in this passage. As Hana fed the man, she said that soon he would become strong. She said so despite the fact that she disliked him. The man did not reply to him. Sadao visited the man on the third day after the operation. The young boy was sitting, but his face was pale and weak due to the effort that he made While sitting, Sadao screamed at him and ordered him to lie down. He said that the man would die if he stressed himself. Sadao forced him down and inspected the wound that he had operated upon. He scolded the man that he could die if he tried to exert himself. The boy asked Sadao that what would he do with him. It seemed that the boy was hardly 17 years old. He asked Sadao that would he hand him over to the Japanese army. For a moment, Sadao did not answer. He finished his examination and then pulled the silk cord over the man. I do not know myself what I shall do with you, he said. I ought, of course, to give you to the police. You are a prisoner of war. No, don't tell me anything. He put up his hand as he saw the young man was about to speak. Don't even tell me your name unless I ask. This time you will notice that what Dr. Sadao said to him. Sadao did not reply instantly when he asked that would you hand over me to the police. He completed examining the boy and then put the silk quilt on him. Sadao said that he himself did not know what he should do with the boy. He added that he was supposed to hand him over to the police. He also disclosed that he knew that the boy was a prisoner of war. As Sadao saw that the boy was about to speak, he raised his hand to indicate him not to do so. Sadao asked him not to speak and not to tell his name also unless he asked him to do so. Here you can see after the successful operation of the American prisoner of war, Dr. Sadao admitted before Hana that in spite of all the circumstances, the man would live. One day, or you can read third day of the operation, he visited the man and he notices that he was trying to do something. He was very angry to him. The man asked him, would you hand over to me to the police? And Dr. Sadao didn't answer. Why he didn't answer? Because he was not sure what his next step would be. His mind was not clear. He was fighting all the time. There was inner conflict he was going through. So it was not easy. He ignored and he stopped him not to speak, not to utter a single word before him, because he was not ready to answer any word. He was not willing to say anything to that boy. He tried to convince himself that what he has to do with that man. He was not sure. स्टोरी पर में जब आप देखेंगे कि ना चाहते हुए भी वो ऑपरेशन कर रहा है, ना चाहते हुए भी उसकी ज़िंदगी बचा रहा है, और बचाते बचाते भी वो चाह रहा है कि वो मर जाए. वो उसको बचाना इसलिए नहीं चाहता है कि वो उसको भगा देगा. वो अपने प्रोफेशन के साथ, जो उसने कस्में खाई थी, उस प्रोफेशन के साथ वो वादा, जो उसने कसम खाई थी, जो उसकी इथिक्स थी कि उसके हर एक की जान को बचाएगा बिना किसी फ़र्क किए हुए, उसके आगे मजबूर होकर वो उसको बचाता है. और दूसरी तरफ वो ये भी चाहता है कि वो मर जाए इसलिए चाहता है क्योंकि वो किसी मुसीबत में नहीं फंसना चाहता, और बचाता इसलिए क्योंकि वो इतना एक्सपर्ट है, वो अपने आप को, अपनी काबिलियत के ऊपर सवालिया निशानी बनाना चाहता है. वो ये नहीं चाहता कि वो एक ऐसा ऑपरेशन करे जिसमें मरीज़ मर जाए. तो वो उसका ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट उसको बहुत परेशान रखता है, और वो हर वक्त परेशान रहता है और उलझा रहता है. इसी उलझन की वजह से वो उसके साथ इतनी बुरी तरह से पेश आता है. And rest of the thing we will discuss in our next video. Till then, thank you very much. Take care of yourself. Jai Hind to all.